Well, welcome back. Alright, I know it's been a while between uploads,
But
today we're going to sculpt two of my favorite game characters. I love these guys and I'm happy to see them return. October of 1991. I was 10 years old. My family had this television set that was inside of a big wooden casing, and it had these big doors on the side so that you could close it, and it turned into a big decorative wooden box. For some reason, those types of television sets were really popular in the 80s and 90s. It was technically a family TV, but my dad seemed to get the most use out of it. He'd always watch these movies that you could only get behind the curtain at our local Blockbuster Video. I always wondered if they had any good games back there. And if they did, why did it all have to be such a big secret between the curtain that hid the special movies and the way my dad would watch with the doors pressed tight up against his face? It was like there was a whole world of elite media that those in the know didn't want to share with anyone else, even their own kids. I was never allowed behind that curtain, especially by the employees. So I rented Toejam and Earl. I couldn't play it on the big TV though, since that was in use. So I'd have to settle for the small TV that was in my room, and that was fine. I'm not complaining. I know most kids back then probably didn't have a TV, so I was fortunate enough to have a backup when the big box was occupied. Fast forward to 2019, Blockbuster's gone. I know, yay Oregon. But the curtain's been drawn back and the doors are open. I'm thrilled to see that we have a new Toejam and Earl game. This isn't a sponsored video, and I'm not here to give a game review. There are plenty of channels that do that and do it well. My own personal opinion is that as someone who played the original back in the day on the small TV, it really and truly brought a smile to my face. I think Human Nature Games has captured the charm and feel of the original, and I'm hoping this isn't the last we see of these two. It's especially fun with co-op. Of course, I've been wanting to sculpt these two for a while, and I figured now is as good a time as any, and it's time to get to work.
Sculpture Geek Sessions.
So on Toejam, you can see I made his funky fresh medallion out of styrene plastic by cutting a quick disc on the bandsaw and then cutting out the letters and gluing them on top of that. Shout out to Musty. My bandsaw's name is Musty, by the way. Moving on. Then I cut the letters out of sheet styrene and glued them onto the disc. Finally, I made the little rivets or studs or whatever by... How did I make those? By sanding down the tip of a styrene rod and chopping it off a bunch of times, and then gluing those around the outside. Then just a little bit of paint to tie it together. I could certainly sculpt this piece out of clay or another material, but it was just faster and cleaner to make it out of styrene. The necklace band itself was made from 2 rolled out pieces of clay that I twisted together and then bent that around into shape, and the medallion's just stuck on there. I used 2 little pieces of poster putty to help it stick because I didn't want to melt it. And again, the eyes were made from white Sculpey. It was easier to just roll some out and then bake it and sand them smooth and then sculpt the eyelids on top of that. And aside from that, just give some contrast to the final piece. Now on Earl, I waited till the antennae were finalized before finishing the face just to be sure of placement. I usually end up saving the portrait until the very end. It's not usually the best thing to do that, but that's just how I work. For Earl's glasses, I made these the same way that I made Toejam's medallion out of sheet styrene. I drew the rough shape on, cut it out, and then glued pieces of strip styrene to the sides for the arms of the glasses, and then just painted that black. The eyes underneath were just 2 little dots of Sculpey as well. I actually ran out of armature wire midway through. That's why Earl's arms don't have any wire running through them. I figured since they were just a big mass resting in front of him, they didn't really need the support that much. Anytime I can sculpt something without an armature, I usually take the opportunity anyway, because then you can usually remove the piece and it's a lot faster to clean things up and gives you a lot better access to certain areas. It's all about that access. So in this case, it worked out. Alright guys, do me a favor, hit the bell and leave